Funko Pop. Hey guys, do you want to go to Lambert's? Big Ben. I'm married to the Huntress. J Money. Just rock the mic money. It's time for the MCD. Ladies and guys and ladies. MCD. All right, guys, this is the Modern Christian Dudes podcast. We have the whole crew, fans clamoring from all across the world. Where did Big Ben, aka King Ranch, ask you go? We don't know, but we know that he's in the studio right now. And guys, we are now live streaming on our Facebook page, on my individual Facebook page, Jeremiah Stephen Johnson, on our church page. So now we're very cool because we're video and audio. Because like I was telling Funko Pro Greg Walden, Big Ben, is that if you're going to be a cool podcaster, you just can't be a podcaster. You have to be a video podcaster which we are.
So they go together, apparently.
Yeah, dudes talking news, sports, and God. I got a couple things to talk about today. I'm going to save it for the end. My official Flash movie review. I did see the Flash. Poor Flash movie just bombing at the box office, getting buried. And I actually really liked the movie.
I've heard that.
I did. I really liked the movie.
I've heard that Rotten Tomatoes, the critics, gave it a really bad score, but the audience is giving it a really good score.
Yeah, we'll get into it. The weirdest, there is a very weird opening CGI saving baby from falling building scene. Very weird if you see it. That almost like
killed it.
Yeah. From the beginning, but then they recovered, and Michael Keaton as Batman and all those kind of things.
Michael Keaton is Batman.
Yeah. Also, the thing that almost blew it for me is George Clooney shows up in it as well. And the potential rumor is...
I know we're doing video. Did he have bat nipples?
Potential rumor is George Clooney might be the new Batman going forward. Horrible. This is a possibility.
Age, though, man. It's like,
well, that's because the next Batman,
the Batman Beyond
is going to be older in age. So
I mean,
George Clooney being the worst Batman of all three, let's bring him back. That'll go well.
Who said that George Clooney was the worst Batman?
I did, and many other people.
As a '90s kid,
George Clooney in that movie is recognized as the worst.
I don't agree with that statement.
Overall recognized as worst.
I think the problem with George Clooney is not really George Clooney, is Chris O'Donnell.
No.
That movie,
all these words
that
back.
movie almost, did it in.
I wasn't a fan.
But we'll get into the Flash review. Have you guys seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, so I have seen it. I went and saw it with Maxwell, our good friend Maxwell. We had a good time. We had a little date night together. So anyway, my wife does not like going to the movies, action movies. So if you are watching live stream, you can comment and connect with us. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start off with Big Ben because he's been absent from us. So
yeah. What do you want? You want my rant? What do we?
You can do whatever you want.
Listen,
because it's you now.
I read something this morning that makes me question where we're going as a society. I saw in the news this morning that a 9-year-old just signed a 6-figure deal, and it's at the NIL. So this kid's going to get paid 6 figures to promote a brand as a 9-year-old.
Yeah. Did you see what brand it was, perhaps, in that article?
I think it was Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg's. His football something.
He's a football coach.
Yeah.
So now here's the conundrum. The conundrum is, these NCAA. I think the NCAA is corrupt, absolutely corrupt.
Absolutely.
I'm anti-NCAA, and so here's where the conundrum comes in. These guys are making billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And they're selling stuff, merch. They're just cleaning house.
Yeah.
And so, in the perfect world, I think it would be good if college students just went to college on scholarships.
Yeah.
They're getting free education. They're getting free food, free clothes.
Yeah.
Their uniforms, etc. It'd be nice if that was just the scenario, but unfortunately, we're in a wicked, corrupt world now. So, I do feel like they are being monopolized in their numbers and their face and their images. So now they're like, "Hey, we want a piece of that," which I think is kind of fair. So. Yeah, I'm a little divided on the topic.
Yeah, but I think the motivation for college, I agree with you. What is the motivation for college? Well, you should go to get an education, right? And this is what I always say. It's like, it's okay to pursue to be a professional athlete, but that's plan B, right?
Yep.
Plan A would be to go get yourself educated and get a good job.
Yep.
In my opinion.
The question is how that 9-year-old, how much of that 6 figures his parents going to actually-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if somehow that all of that corrupt NCAA money that these higher ups are making could somehow flow into the colleges, programs, benefiting and uplifting the student body, then I would be totally fine.
Let's
But-
be honest. It's gonna be a mess.
Yeah, yeah. So the NIL deals, essentially, if you haven't figured that out now, college students can get money and
Not just college students now.
yeah,
This
younger
kid's
kids,
a 9-year-old.
like Bronny, like LeBron James, he was making money.
Yeah.
Bronny James, like in high school and stuff. So get it if you can get it, I guess. You know. So
Yeah. I just think about the therapy.
So there's a guy locally here. He was I think he played pro, and then his sons are pretty good. Probably not going to be pro players
football?
in basketball.
Basketball.
So his son is going to Rhode Island. I guess I don't know if they're like just throw the son on the bus, throw this out there. But his son's going to go to Rhode Island, and he's a minimal player, and not like superstar player. But I think he said his son was going to get like $40,000 to $50,000 a year
Wow. Okay.
on top of his scholarship to play basketball.
Okay, I guess.
Woo! All
It's a
right.
lot of pizza money.
Yeah.
Wish
That's
I was
my
a little
rant.
bit taller. Wish I was a baller.
Yeah.
Wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her. Which is hilarious. When I helped out with youth group the other day, I played that song for the kids. I'm like, here, let me just play just a fun random song. You guys will never know this.
Yeah.
The music hit and they start rapping the whole song. How would you know that? How would you
do.
be 12 years
No,
old and know
they-
the music
okay,
I listen to?
When we were at church camp and
As a
now,
kid.
I realized that they should
as a teenager,
we're
I'm a
supposed to be-
middle-aged man. Come on.
We're supposed to be thinking about God during church camp, but they played NSYNC, or maybe it's Backstreet Boys, the "I Want It That Way" or whatever.
Yep.
That whole bus of teenagers were singing that song, and I was like, of all,
Even though
all,
I do like the song.
of
so-
all songs, why would they know that one anyway?
Yeah.
If that freaks you out, I was on a plane back when I was living in Ogden. I had to fly to West Virginia. So I was flying from Salt Lake City to Chicago to connect to Baltimore.
West Virginia.
Yeah, yep. And so I was sitting in the plane, and there's this mother and two of her, I think they're at least about 4-year-old twins, 4 or 5-year-old. And so I'm flying, and these kids kept kicking the back seat. Of course, they're kicking the seat. I'm like, come on, quit kicking the seat. And then one of the kids are singing the song, "If you want my body, if you."
Oh, my gosh.
I'm like, you're 4 years old, man.
Yep.
Dude, honestly, I was like, you should be play your G.I. Joes and don't sing that song, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was freaky.
Realize how bad some of these songs are when little kids start singing them.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
well,
goodness.
actually, I mean, that goes across the board. I went back and watched a couple of the old cartoons from when I was a kid, like Courage the Cowardly Dog or Johnny Bravo. All of those, like, they're so bad. Like, the content in it is so bad. It's like, how did I ever get to watch this?
Yeah.
It's just, you start realizing when you're a parent, the things that you watched, you're like, ooh, that's kind of bad.
There's a lot of innuendos in those cartoons that you, as a kid, you probably missed.
All right, I don't know if you guys caught this one. This is I'll bounce it from me back over to you guys. This was the big. This could be epic. This could be. I would buy pay-per-view for this. I don't know if you guys caught this. UFC President Dana White predicts a Zuckerberg Elon Musk cage match.
They won it too.
Would bring in over $1 billion. So they had a little Twitter beef going on. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk want to go at it.
They do.
In the cage. What about this? The biggest fight ever in the history of the world.
Mark has been doing a lot of martial arts here recently.
Yeah, he's a jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah, he just won
His first jiu-jitsu match.
his match. So I don't know. I've heard Elon does some too, but I don't know. That jiu-jitsu is some serious stuff.
Yeah, so they're going back and forth right now. Potential. I had another story I was going to get to it.
Isn't Elon like a big guy though?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's pretty good
not
size.
Zuckerberg is definitely in shape. I would take Zuckerberg.
Well, I was.
I don't know.
Even
but
though I
how
love
big,
my Elon Musk.
But how big is Zuckerberg? Zuckerberg's just a I don't want to.
Well, if it's a legit pro fight, then they have to make weight. They have to agree on a weight. And
Yeah.
If it's going to be a pro, if it's exhibition, then it's whatever. But if it was going to be like a pro fight,
But still, if I think Elon Musk is just a bigger guy.
I still say there'll be a 1 second fight because Zuckerberg would just cancel Elon Musk.
Well, I don't know. It maybe Elon Musk has that Neuralink implant that gives him superhuman abilities.
I feel like the Spider-Man had that Spidey sense where he was just like,
Yeah. One article from The Verge here says, here we go. After Elon Musk recently tweeted that he would be up for a cage fight with Zuckerberg, the Meta CEO shot back by posting a screenshot of Musk's tweet with the caption, "Send me location." I've confirmed that Zuckerberg's post on Instagram account is in fact not a joke, which means the ball's now in Musk's court. The story speaks for itself. Meta spokesperson Iska Sarek told me. After the story was published, Musk responded with 2 words, Vegas Octagon. He then tweeted, "I have this great move that I call the walrus, where I just lie on top of my opponent and do nothing." So anyway,
what a troll.
Zuckerberg has been at some of the UFC stuff. There's some relationship with Zuck and Dana White. So I'm assuming Dana White would be in Zuckerberg's corner. But yeah, Zuckerberg's legit.
Yeah.
And the whole jujitsu, that's been a trendy thing the past kind of 5-10 years. Like Tom Brady's wife Giselle, they talked about her. She's dating her.
Well, no, that's all.
Jiu-jitsu
Jiu-jitsu is
Zuckerberg Jiu-Jitsu.
why it's so popular. Because I mean, think what the UFC is, the Ultimate Fighting Champion. Well, when it first started back in the day, in the 90s and stuff, there's guys in there with like karate and all the different martial art forms, and jiu-jitsu is the one that came out on top as being the best. Well, obviously there's other stuff too, like wrestling and different things like that, but that's why jiu-jitsu is so popular, is because it was the one that won. And then you have specifically the Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which I believe came from the Gracies.
Yeah,
they just developed.
It goes back to who is it? Hoist Gracie.
Yeah,
their very first UFC when there was no weight classes, like they could wear whatever, and he's the first guy who came in with a gi, and he's tapping out people with his gi, and he's this little dude, and it just the legend kind of started from there, and now the ball's been rolling.
And I think a lot were the Taekwondo. Like I think Joe Rogan was a Taekwondo guy.
Taekwondo.
And then he's since crossed over to jiu-jitsu.
That's all. And you got Jocko, Willett, all these guys are doing the jiu-jitsu.
But that's all submission stuff too. It's like, how can I get your arm in a position where I will break it unless you tap?
Ace Austin dialing in here. He tuned in. Miss y'all. Backstreet was my first concert. Wow. AC Austin. Backstreet was your first concert? That's amazing.
Well, the kids are still singing that music, so...
I still think Chuck Norris would beat both of them.
Chuck Norris. Oh, I've got a good story about Chuck Norris.
Okay.
So I was talking to the teenagers about something, and Chuck Norris came up, and I was like, yeah, Chuck Norris, blah, blah, blah. And they go, who? And I was like, hold on a second. Hang on.
I'm surprised Chuck Norris didn't magically appear and just knock him out right there.
And so I was like, hey, you guys don't know who Chuck Norris is. And then of course, I had to go through all of the jokes. I had to tell them, like, guys, this is the manliest man that's ever been on the planet. I was like, Superman has Chuck Norris pajamas. The Boogeyman checks his closet for Chuck Norris, okay? Like, that's who Chuck Norris is.
Your dad is probably Chuck Norris, and you don't know it.
No. Chuck Norris knows who.
So they went home like, who's Chuck Norris? But whatever. And then they come back to me about a week later. They're like, Pastor Ben, we watched Delta Force 2. It was amazing. There was an explosion like every 2 seconds. I was like, that's right. So now they're all obsessed. Actually, the youth computer now, all the backgrounds are Chuck Norris now. That's how obsessed they are now.
Now they know who Chuck Norris is.
Greg Walden, do you have some Chuck Norris jokes with that in mind?
Yes, everybody.
In that vein?
Yep. Chuck Norris sleeps with a pillow under his gun. MC
I believe that.
MC Hammer learned the hard way that Chuck Norris can touch this.
Let's keep it appropriate now here.
Well, I'm not talking about that. You know me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, Chuck Norris narrates Morgan Freeman's life.
That was a good one.
Chuck Norris once ordered a steak in a restaurant. The steak did what it was told. And the last one. Oh, here we go. Chuck Norris cowboy boots are made from real cowboys.
Oh.
I got one last one for you, Pastor. Okay. Chuck Norris canned his own urine and started a company. That company is now known as Red Bull.
You did that one last week?
No, that was no. Chuck Norris peed in the gas tank of a truck. That truck is now known as Optimus Prime.
Oh yeah, good old Chuck. Chuck Norris.
I figured
God
you
bless
liked that Red Bull joke.
Yeah. Where was I going to go? No, I saw on my YouTube, it popped up the other day, Chuck Norris, like commercial for vitamins or something like that. And him and his wife were on there in his 80s now.
Yeah,
Hey, listen.
I don't know if he's dyeing his hair. I'm going to guess he's dyeing his hair.
But he's still looking great.
yeah, still looks very good. Has big fake teeth. Probably
Yeah.
dyeing his hair.
Oh, yeah.
But still active. You know, he's out there throwing the hay around and still beating the bag, heavy bag a little bit here and
Yeah.
there.
No, he dyes his
Wife
hair.
still
He
looks
dyes
good.
his hair with industrial strength paint that you would paint aircraft with.
Probably.
Yeah, I saw Chuck Norris once. I know I've talked about this before, and he wore white New Balance shoes. And I still think that New Balance is missing out on a marketing campaign there. Like Roundhouse Chuck Norris wears your shoes. They should take advantage of that.
This is a long time ago now, back when I was youth pastor, but the pastor I worked for, he was a Taekwondo guy. And I guess there's like these specially made jeans that have extra material, like in the crotch for kicking and stuff like that. And he wore those all the time.
You never
Like,
know.
yeah,
Listen,
just
you
as-
never know.
You never know.
You never know when you're going to need that.
All right. Any other stories here, guys?
We could talk about all the billionaires dying.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm not just talking, okay, submarine, obviously. If you're living under a rock, first of all, the submarine that sank on its way to the Titanic, which there's been a lot of memes that have come out of this whole thing, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, so they went down to Titanic in a makeshift submersible. It's not a submarine. Pastor Justin corrected me. He's like, it's not a submarine. It's a submersible. Okay. They went down and like this guy got some of the parts from Camper World for this submarine.
My goodness.
Like he used, I saw that he used expired carbon fiber.
He had a video game controller.
He had the